Hey guys, Venusaur here. Welcome back to another episode of Pokemon GO. This is going to be a post-commentary top-down view of basically what you're seeing or what you're looking at is me having my camera set on my iPads. That way you'll be able to get to see some gameplay of me being at the Safari Zone. As you guys already know, I was in Denmark last weekend to be a part of the Safari Zone. I have my Go Plus right there, but I didn't have the capability of really connecting that with my iPad because, well, it seems that the iOS bug is fixed right now, but decided to put it right there just because it kind of looks cool. So in this video, basically about 50 minutes of footage. I'm gonna talk you guys through everything that's happening, why of course I'm making certain choices. You guys might be like, oh, you catch this Pokemon, catch that Pokemon, and so on and so forth. Unown S. That was an important one for me. I didn't have Unown S, so I'm using a regular raspberry because obviously it is spawning pretty crazily. I actually stocked up on a bunch of Pokeballs there. You actually saw me tapping on the Great Ball and then letting go, and then it actually used the Great Ball. It's a little bit unfortunate there. But the Safari Zone event on itself was fantastic. Unfortunately, this Unown ended up running away. Luckily for me, as the day started, I got my Unown S really quickly on. That puts me at 12 different letters. I got the letters to spell Chicago, then of course I got Europe, but some of the letters were overlapping on that, and then last but not least you actually got Safari. So at the right bottom corner you actually see a Venusaur nearby. I'm very tempted to go out and get that, but this particular day there were actually over 10 Venusaur spawning, and with every single Magikarp and every single Pikachu that I'm seeing, I actually do press on them and then run away later to go after those other better spawns here. So Chansey 105 CP. Some of you guys, of course, you would be using a pineapple berry or a raspberry alongside with like an ultra ball, but seeing as during Safari Zone event Chansey spawns pretty regularly, I kind of wanted to save my ultra balls for whenever Chansey's like 600, 700, 800 CP or above that, and then use it for them, because otherwise I would end up running out of Ultra Balls there. So over here Magikarp, I figured I'd be catching this one. I usually would be ignoring it because, well, to be fair, I am after experience always. So Magikarp is not a good Pokemon for that. It is 400 candy to evolve on into a Gyarados, so that's not really ideal. So the only reason why I end up checking on Magikarp is literally to see whether or not it is shiny. I got a couple of really high IV Gyarados that I already invested in and that I already maxed out, so the only reason what would actually make me interested in Magikarp is to gather up enough candy for one evolve, but also in case I found myself a shiny with a high IV. That is basically the final Gyarados that I ever want to be maxing out, because I'm so saturated on Gyarados regardless, so yeah. Over here we have a Wartortle. So we have a bunch of starters spawning. You saw every Generation 1 starter spawning, Squirtle, Bulbasaur and Charmander, and their second form was spawning as well. That wasn't really happening during the very first Safari Zone in Germany. In this particular case, it actually did end up happening quite a lot. So Wartortle, Charmeleon, Ivysaur were spawning quite often, and then pretty rarely, I would say about maybe once an hour, you would see Charizard, you would see Venusaur, you would see Blastoise as well. And then from the Generation 2 starters, you didn't have every single one of them spawning. I mean, you did have every single one of them spawning, but not all three forms. So you had the Totodile, the Cyndaquil, and the Chikorita. And then you also have Bayleef, Quilava and Croconaw, but you didn't see Feraligatr, Typhlosion and Meganium spawning, so it was just limited to those. So over here, Charmeleon, this is definitely a Pokemon I barely ever catch. Like, I literally have no idea how far away it is. I have no, like, intel on this Pokemon, so I'm kind of guesstimating to see where it is. Obviously, as you can see, I'm not throwing that excellent because I'm just not used to this particular Pokemon. Also, it actually, like, every single device is different. Recently, like after Safari Zone, there was this little kid that came up to me. We were just done with a raid in Pokemon GO, and luckily for him, he actually managed to find himself a 16-13 CP Suicune, which is 100% IV. So he was extremely nervous and he came up to me, he's like, Reversal, please catch this for me. I was like, no, I don't want to even attempt to do that, because he was using a Samsung Galaxy Edge. And I actually had that phone device before, and the reason why I swapped that device is because, for one, the screen broke, but for two, as you can see over here, by the way, the Venusaur is pretty far away, so I decided not to go for it. I did have interest, but only if it was there, because I did really wanted to do this clip, and I was gonna have opportunities regardless to catch this Pokemon. But I digress. Let's talk once again about the little kid with the screen, with the Samsung Galaxy Edge, and his perfect IV Suicune. He insisted for me to catch it. I was really nervous. He had 8 attempts left to catch the Suicune. So the first throw, awful throw, because I had no idea what to look for as far as distance concerned. I even forgot the golden raspberry, and he was really quick to be like, oh, golden raspberry, don't forget about it. So he actually helped me, remind me. And then the second throw was a little bit better. I actually did manage to get an excellent on the second throw, and for every single throw I was applying the Prodigies Nation tactic, because obviously that is the most efficient to use on Pokemon, and any Pokemon really. If you want to make sure you catch them, make sure you check out Prodigies Nation. I'll leave his video on the Prodigies Nation trick in the description down below, so that way you guys can go out and check it out. But yeah, at the end of the day, 5 throws left. I throw it with a curveball, excellent, and actually catches it for him. Like, I am not able to really catch my own Suicunes or Entei or Raikou, but if it comes down to other people, I'm supposedly more successful, and it kind of gives me a good feeling I was able to, you know, catch that Suicune for the little kid. So it was really awesome. As a matter of fact, during the Safari Zone event, he was actually from Germany, I reckon, or Austria. He was speaking German. So he was very happy to meet Spieletrend as well. But then he also met me, and he was very happy. He actually asked me to autograph, to sign his phone case, which was kind of cool to do. I managed to catch it, and he actually called it Suicune, he called it Reverse. So I actually showcased a picture of that particular moment on screen right now. He is so happy about me catching it. So, going back into the gameplay, every 5 minutes, if you spin a Pokestop, they will respawn. So in this particular case, I decided to go for it. At this point, I just am like, let's just go out and catch everything. Starter Pokemon are not the most ideal Pokemon to catch, because their catch rate is lower than Weedles, lower than Pidgeys, and so on and so forth, more common Pokemon. They actually, whenever I see them, you know, I don't really care too much for them, because obviously starter Pokemon need to be buffed inside of Pokemon Go. They are far too underrated. I always thought that was a problem. For instance, I used to have a 98% Charizard, which I decided not to invest into because I realized the CP was going to be incredibly low. Then you had Venusaur, which I do have maxed out at 100% IV or 90% and above, and with Fine Whip, Solar Beam, it can definitely be a great counter against any water type inside of the game, or any rock type for that matter. So Venusaur is worth it in my personal opinion. But that is the only starter that is right now available in the game, Gen 1, Gen 2, that I feel is worth investing into. Blastoise is kind of like an unfortunate situation, because you got so many water Pokemon which are a little bit better than Blastoise. So, you know, that's why I'm not really all that happy to see these Pokemon, these starter Pokemon. If I do see them, I mean, it's kind of cool to catch them, but they have no real value other than try to catch them, have a little bit more difficulty than the very basic Pokemon right there. You saw that accent over there, the Machop. But that's pretty much all there is to these Pokemon. They're basically Pokédex entries, and I really feel that is very unfortunate. So Machop was spawning quite a few times as well. We have Snubbles was spawning a couple of times. We had a couple of Miltanks, in fact, a couple of Porygons as well. Over here, as you can see, using the pineapple candy, because obviously the Machop is pretty low in CP, and you know, a Machamp is always pretty helpful. Then you have all the starters which are spawning, of course, excluding the Generation 2 third phase Pokemon. What else was spawning there? Mr. Mime was spawning there. Over here we got the Blastoise, which was pretty insane, but then Mr. Mime was trolling because he was standing inside of the Blastoise. We had a couple of Standlers, Kangaskhan's, not a whole lot, and then also some Unowns in there. And I know for a fact that I'm missing on some Pokemon. Mareep was spawning there as well. Larvitar was spawning, I think I already said that. Chansey was spawning quite a bit, and then randomly you see a Blastoise from time to time. So obviously first throw completely awful because I never see the Pokemon. Second throw I actually get very close to the excellent circle. Third throw right here. 3 times the charm, you might think, no, he starts to attack, but I already got the target down, and this moment is pretty easy. Winner chicken dinner. I am able to consistently get excellent on Blastoise. Now unfortunately it actually ended up running, so we're going in for the second throw right here, using the Prodigies Nation tactic, swirling around, boom, excellent, right here inside of the Pokemon, in a good zone as well. This was before the update which fixed the curveball glitch, and gotcha, we actually managed to get the Blastoise. Pretty happy about that. It only took me 5 attempts to catch this. Now the magical moment, you guys saw this already. Boom! Shiny Magikarp. Could have not happened at a better moment. If you want to hear my response, like my reaction stuff, I'm just tapping the table right now at this moment. When I see this is a live reaction, man. This is so epic when I got this. I was not messing around in any way, shape, or form. Just trying to catch this one instantly. I was so psyched. Unfortunately, the IV was absolutely atrocious. Between 17 and 33%. I could not contain my excitement. But this happened not only once, not only twice, but 3 times where I accidentally just tap on the Pokemon as I'm recording or something like that, close to being recording. And then suddenly a shiny Pokemon ends up appearing. That's pretty crazy. This is how I name tag a shiny Pokemon. I just use #, and then it allows for me to search them. So this is my 8th shiny Pokemon at the moment of catching. So yeah, pretty crazy. And of course checking the Pikachu. I'm just over the moon at this point. I mean, I'm like, hey, I got the most amazing recording down, and then I did manage to get myself a shiny. It doesn't really get much better than that, to be completely honest, and I don't think I'll ever be able to do a top-down gameplay quite like this. What I'm going to do, however, in Amstelveen, it's going to be a different Safari Zone event, so I actually am attempting to do the exact same thing, do a similar top-down post commentary on this, and then I'll showcase or share my thoughts and opinions once again as we talk over some of these Pokemon. Over here, once again, Pokestops have always got the priority for me, and that is because you got in control. You got it in control yourself whenever they start to respawn. So every 5 minutes after you personally spawn, you can go ahead and spin the Pokestops once again. Whereas the lure spawns respawn regardless every 3 minutes. So whether you catch the Pokemon or not, there will always be a new Pokemon after 3 minutes, whereas the Pokestop has to be spun in order for it to be refreshed. So that's why I'm always going for Pokestops first, because that is very important, especially if you're going after experience. If you want to reach level 40 first, these little tricks really make the difference. Same thing with the first throw. Like if you have a Pidgey, you might want to use a Pineapple Berry alongside with a Great Ball, because that way you have certainty that you're going to be catching the Pidgey in the first throw, which gives you an additional 50 experience, which is it adds up long term. Same thing with Curveball. If you don't use Curveball, you're missing out on so many things. So please, it is really easy. You can see me do a Curveball right here. You can see how easy it goes. It's just a matter of trying. If you really cannot get it down, get someone in the community to help you out with your Curveball, because it is also important to get that bonus now, especially that the Curveball glitch is fixed inside of Pokemon Go. So this is really what the majority of the spawns look like throughout the day. You got a couple of Machops, you sometimes see Miss Mime, a Clefairy here and there, a bunch of starters, and then on occasion you actually do see Mareep, you do see Chansey, and you do see Larvitar. And if you're walking around, of course you have a higher chance of finding these Pokemon, as you will be getting in range of certain lure Pokemon once again. So these 15 minutes or 14 minutes have come by really fast, so we're getting closer to the end of this clip. All I want to say is I hope you guys are looking forward to the actual Safari Zone clip, which will be coming out I think tomorrow. So with that in mind, I want to say thank you so much for watching. This is Reverse for Pokemon Go. I'm gonna be signing off, and I'll see you guys back again soon with more Safari Zone goodness.